guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a really easy tutorial on how to make a ribbed winter beanie. I literally just use the scrap yarn I had laying around my house. You could use any lightweight yarn that you have, or you could go out and get a really nice bulky yarn for this project. Honestly, it's up to you. This is the yarn that I'm using for this project. It is a Sugar and Cream Lily 100% cotton yarn, and I believe it's a weight 4. I'm also going to be taking my 6.5 millimeter hook. This is a larger hook. If you'd like to use a 7 millimeter hook, that is okay too. I would not go smaller than a 6 millimeter. So for this project, I am going to be using my leftover summer yarns. So these are kind of more of a lightweight cotton yarn. They are better for making like summer tops and swimsuits, but I want to be making something for the winter time since it is getting colder here. So instead of going out and buying a thick, nice weight yarn, I want to use up what I have in my collection first. So I'm just going to be combining these two yarns. This is more of a dusty cream color and it has some accent colors in it, and then this is just a plain cream color. So you can mix two different colors if you like. I am going to be using these two. So all I'm going to do is join the two spools of yarn together. So once I have my knot, then I'm just going to be chaining a total of about 40. So this is going to be the length of the hat that you're making. So it's not going to fit around your head. This is going to be the length of the hat. So if you want it to be a really super slouchy beanie, then I would suggest maybe go 45 to 50 chains. But doing 40 chains is pretty slouchy already, so I'm just going to do a total of 41 chains. So then I'm just going to go, so this is the first chain, so I'm in this chain, so this is the first chain. I'm going to skip over that and then go into the second chain. I'm just going to straight put my hook through that chain, yarn over, pull yarn through, then I should have 2 left on my hook, then I'm going to yarn over and pull through both of those. So that is a single crochet. This entire beanie is going to be single crochets, so I'm just going to go through the very next chain and repeat that process, placing 1 single crochet in every chain going back to the end of the row. So now that I've finished with the row, I've placed 1 single crochet in every chain. I'm at the end, so now I'm going to chain 1 and then flip over my work, and then I'm going to get started on the next row of single crochets. So in order to get a ribbed pattern, as you can see, if you flip the chain to face you, you should see that there is 2 chains in one. So there's 2 strings in each chain. So usually when we single crochet, we just go through both of those. So that is the entire chain, both of these sides. But in order to get the ribbed pattern, I'm only going to be going through the back chain. So I am ignoring the first string and only going through the back of the chain. So I hope that makes sense. But so after you chain 1, but I'm just going to place my hook through the back of the chain, yarn over, pull through, should have 2 left on my hook, yarn over, pull through. So I'm going to be continuing the remainder of this row, placing a single crochet only in the back of the chain. So I just wanted to point out, I did reach the end of my row. Make sure that you're not skipping the very last chain. The very last chain will be kind of angled in a different way. As you can see, I flipped over the chain as I was crocheting only in the back. So this little kind of weird chain at the end is actually the last chain of the row. So I hope that makes sense, but just make sure that you are not skipping any chains, otherwise your work is going to start triangling. Anyway, so I've reached the end of the row, and for the next row and the remainder of your hat, you are going to chain 1, flip over your work, and then continue only chaining in the back of the chain. So you are going to be placing your single crochets only in the back of the chain for the remainder of the hat. So now you are just going to be doing these rows until the width of this can fit around your head. So for everyone that might be a little bit different. I'm just going to continue until I have my work long enough. But I'm going to skip over and come back once I have finished. So this is what you should have once you're finished with all of your rows. The length of this fits perfectly around my head. So I believe I did 41 or 42 rows of this. So oh, cool. Okay. So once you have as many rows as you need to fit the hat size that you need, all I'm going to do is fold this in half, and you can either use a sewing needle. I'm just going to use my thread. So all I'm going to do is attach my yarn to the very end of my row with a double knot. Then I'm just going to thread it back through, and then I'm just going to be attaching this. You could either use slip stitches or single crochets. I'll do slip stitches. But just try and go through every single chain along the row. So just continue this until you reach the top. So now that I've reached the very top, the top of this is going to be where I'm closing this together to form the top of the hat. So now just continuing the same thread that I used to connect the two sides together, I'm just going to spool out a bunch and then just cut it, loop that through the very last chain, and then pull it tightly so it forms a knot. And then I'm just going to go through alternating chains and just loop it through. So just alternate every few chains going in and out with the end of the yarn. The idea is that we're going to close this tightly like a drawstring. So now I am back to where I closed the two sides together, and I just went ahead and looped it all in alternating chains going in and out. So now I'm just going to pull it tightly together, and with this I am going to kind of slip stitch it together. Loop it through. Make sure that you pulled it as tight as it can go. So I'm just kind of going through random chains along the top, almost in a crisscross pattern, just to close off the center of the circle. So now that I'm finished tying together the top of the beanie, I'm just cutting off my excess yarn, and I'm just going to be creating a knot. Then I'm going to sew this in later. So now this is the inside of your hat. Just flip it to the other side. So to make a pom-pom, all you have to do is wrap yarn around your fingers. So I wrapped it around my finger about 40 times. I'm just gonna cut the string, slide it off my hands, and then tie string across the middle of it. So just go through all of the folds and just cut them in half. Then I just pull the pom-pom apart, and then I'm kind of just gonna trim it. So then all you do is just attach it. You can make your pom-pom larger by increasing the number of fingers that you use to wrap your yarn around and the number of times that you wrap your yarn. Mine is just a small little pom-pom, but I'm just going to attach that with a needle and thread. But then after that, you are finished with this project. It was really easy to do, and it's a great way to use up all of the extra yarn that you have laying around that is not the right weight that you want for winter clothes. But I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. So yeah, this is the completed beanie. I hope you guys like it, and thank you so much for watching.